This conference
Testing.
will now be recorded.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Dr. B, I see you on the call.
Morning.
How are you doing? Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am excellent this morning. Have some business to talk with you after class.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. And good morning to everybody else. Um, so we will be starting in just a hot second here. I just wanted to do a couple of little things here. Actually, I wonder. I'll just tell you guys what I'm doing. There's a quote that I'm going to put up on the screen from Albert Camus. It's an awesome quote, and I just want it up on the screen for the people who, like go online to do the calls, because I just think it's such a good quote, and I gave the quote to somebody the other day, and they uh, seem to love it as much as I do. And so I did send it out to folks that are on the Power Monday Mastermind list. So let's see. I did send it out, but just in case you all didn't get it, I just wanted to just put it up because I think it's such an awesome quote. And as a matter of fact, I am going to. We're about to start the call in just a moment here, but I did want to find this so desperately. Um, but if I can't, I'm not going to get stuck on this, because sometimes I have a tendency to get stuck on different things, and I don't want to do that in this particular instance. So, anywho, y'all, I'm finding a bunch of his quotes, but not the one in particular that I want. So I just don't know if I'm going to be able to put that up on the screen for you guys. So sorry about that. But here's the quote. And so we're going to start our day off with this quote by Albert Camus, Camus, and the quote is the only way to deal with an unfair world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. That to me is just like super duper awesome. If you catch that, y'all, it's ridiculous. Because I take it, and everyone's gonna have different takes on that quote, but my take is pretty simple. Is that it is our job, our duty, our whatever in this lifetime for us to create, to manifest, to bring into existence a life that we are born to have, right? So in most cases, the vast majority of people fall short of what they were born to have in this lifetime. But I believe that this quote is saying that it is our job, our duty, to become everything that we are supposed to become. And so, however you take the quote, I don't know. Everybody's going to read it differently. But, that quote to me means that it is our job. So, anywho, that kind of leads me into something else that I've been thinking a lot about. I've heard it over and over again, and I'm making it more a part of my existence. And I think it would be beneficial if you guys, in some fashion or form, make it a part of your existence. And I was actually listening to some recordings the other day, and it kind of sparked it in my head. It was a recording by Napoleon Hill. If you go on YouTube, you can find there's a series of 9 different lectures that he did. So it's not obviously it is information from Think and Grow Rich, information from the 16 Laws, the 16 Lessons, It is information from that, but he's actually up in speaking about it in different lectures, and they've cobbled these lectures together and made 9 different lectures out of them. So one of the things that grabbed me in both the lecture 1 and lecture 2 was it keeps on coming back to the same thing, and which is purpose. What is your purpose? So according to what he was saying, Napoleon Hill, is that all of these different people that he studied had a purpose. They had a purpose in their life. They had an objective that they were reaching towards. They had a plan of action, right? So they had a plan that how they're going to get to that objective, how they're going to get, or create or manifest their purpose in life. And then thirdly was action. So third became action upon more action upon more action. Now the variable in all of this was not the purpose. The purpose always remains the same until you accomplish it and then choose to move forward and do something different. But the plan was flexible. The plan was very, very flexible, right? So, in other words, we've had this discussion in the past, but in a different way. But when we talk about all these different people that have accomplished so much, the Bill Gates of the world, what's the other guy, the Facebook guy. We talk about these people and their purpose, right, was kind of set, but their plan changed, right? So, if you've watched, Barbarians at the Gate, any of these movies or anything about Bill Gates or anything about I can't even think of it. It was Mark Zuckerberg, and a host of other people. So they had a purpose, but their game plan changed. And their game plan, their plan was a bit more fluid. So their objective, their purpose stayed the same, but their plan had to change as the things that were presented to them, right? The mountains, right? Because we're in this moving mountain series, as the mountains, the barriers that were in their way, they had to deviate their plan of action, and then in some instances, it wasn't just was still mountains in their way, but it wasn't like a super negative thing or that someone or something was putting in front of them. It was just that they found that there was a greater need, right? So they for a different, in the same vein, but a different type of part of their business. They had to, instead of developing one way. So like with Mark Zuckerberg, with his initial concept, it was this community, this campus community board, if you will, right, where people from different campuses can post different things, and it wasn't what it is now. It was vastly different. So it was basically a community board to post things for their specific college, and then grow to other colleges where people can post activities and what have you, parties primarily, on the Facebook, because that apparently was the original name, the Facebook. And so as they were going through this, and as different things showed up in their pathway, be it opportunities or barriers showed up in their pathway, they had to change their plan. All right, so the purpose remained the same, but the plan changed. And the other constant The other constant has always been action. So your purpose is the same, your action is the same, your plan changes, and that makes sense to me because there's always going to be some crap that happens in the game. Always. It's just life. But your purpose, I want to go from from where I'm at to where I want to be. That's my purpose. That is the purpose. And I know that action has to occur. I know that every single day I have to put forth some sort of action to go from where I'm at to where I want to be. There's just no other way around it, right? So even if you win the lottery, you still have to, and that's a game that honestly, that is a plan of mine. I've been playing it for 20 years, or better. But the deal is that, I can't win the lottery unless I'm buying these freaking tickets twice a week, which I do. And I'm in a lottery pool, by the way. So, I'm taking as much action as that is available to me by being in a lottery pool with some people that are at Attorney Service Corporation, where I get my corporate kits and corporations done. So I'm in a pool with the ladies there. Plus, I have a budget, and I will buy, whatever it is, $5, sometimes $8, every time. So that's twice a week. So, $10 to $16 a week, in tickets on my own. Just depends on different factors, right? So that is my purpose, is to win the lottery. My plan, right, is fluctuating. It fluctuates with what's going on with the lottery. But my action is consistent always, is that twice a week I buy. I don't give a shit where I'm at, unless I'm in, like when we went to Puerto Rico, I couldn't buy my tickets. But the deal is that those two things stay the same. And in every aspect of our existence, every aspect of our life, we have to set our purpose. We have to set our purpose. If your purpose is to create $1 million or $1 billion or a quadrillion dollars, it's good on you, right? So fantastic. That is your purpose. If your purpose is to feed a shitload of people, is to create and employ a bunch of people, whatever your purpose is, fantastic. Now, what is your plan towards that purpose? What is your plan? Because you have to have a starting plan. You have to initiate your plan. You have to. It's mandatory that you initiate your plan. And so, first come is the purpose. Whoever's making that extra noise, stop. So, first come is your purpose. Has to be guaranteed. What is your purpose? What are you going after? Are you trying to create a business? If your business is going to be in the, pick something. You want to start selling cars, for instance. That is your purpose, right? You want to sell used cars until you can get enough money to buy a dealership. So that dealership is your end purpose. Selling the cars is a part of that plan. Selling the used cars, buying and selling used cars, is part of your plan to get to your end purpose, your what you desire, what you want out of this existence. Okay? So, but the plan has to be an actual plan that you have in your mind, but you have to understand that you must make it flexible. The actions that you take have to stay and be consistent throughout. It doesn't matter if your plan deviates, if your plan fluctuates. None of that bullshit matters. The only thing that counts is that you are moving forward every day, every single day. You're moving forward. You're doing something towards your end goal, towards your purpose in life. And then you have to let your plan that you've created, right? So look, I need to go out, I need to sell, I need to buy 5 cars. Now, where am I going to buy them? What auctions do I need to go to? Is it going to be the AAA auction? That's a good auction to go to, which is actually a good thing, but you have to have a dealer's license. But you can go to AAA auctions. They actually have the best auctions, just a little side note. But because AAA tends to write cars off pretty quick. There's another auction called A Plus auction. Same thing, but their cars are usually a little crappier. And then there's a bunch of other auctions that you can go to. Plus, the Salvation Army has auto auctions, and so does Goodwill. So just if you didn't know, now you know. And so where are you going to start at, right? I'm sorry?
Good stuff.
Well, good, awesome. Oh, this is Denise, and Denise is actually going to be talking today, but I just wanted to kind of start off with this, and because I want you guys, I'm going to let Denise start in just a hot second here, but I want you guys to really catch that, right? So it's PPA, right? So, purpose, plan, and action. Purpose, plan, and action. Your purpose is your purpose. That is consistent. Your plan is your plan, but has to have some flexibility. And the action that you take is the action that you take, and it has to be consistent. No matter what, you have to move forward towards your end goal, towards your purpose every single day, period. Right? So, and I want one more little part of this is that what I have found in my world is that if I get my fat ass up every day and I'm doing something, money will come from unexpected places. I don't know how that works, why it works. I know it is a universal law, though. And the reason I know that is a universal law is because I've read it a bunch of times from anybody from Zig Ziglar back in the day, which some of you probably don't know because you're too young for that, to oh my God, no, I'll say Napoleon Hill, same kind of thing. Because when you're in a state of mind of action and you're doing stuff, it is the funniest thing. It's like, okay, I'm doing stuff in a specific arena, and then out of the blue, someone will call or something will occur that I was not anticipating. And we'll say, well, hey, Pascal, I have this money for you because I know that you do this X, Y, and Z. And, it might be something a little bit different, but I know that you can help me with this other thing because I see you, helping people over here. And it's just kind of amazing, right? It's just like, oh, okay, well, yeah, sure, I can do that. Because I know one thing. I know how to get online and research stuff, and just like any and every one of you can get online and research everything. So if somebody comes to you with something a little bit different, don't turn down the money. Figure it out. Take that money, figure it out, right? Get paid. But that seems to be the universal law, that when you're out doing your thing and you're doing it to the best of your ability, people will see you or be introduced to you. And then they might even say, well, I like the way you're doing your Power Mastermind Mondays. I love that. But I have a job here, that needs someone with your whatever it might be. And it might be working for a studio or something. That happens. You see, you're running in one direction, right? Because I'm trying to fulfill my purpose. But then someone calls you up and says, well, look, there's this job at this studio, and man, you're perfect for it. I hear your passion. I hear you're willing to help and to be a part of people's growth. But I have this job at the studio that's perfect for you, or I have this job at this whatever that's perfect for you, and you can come in as a consultant for our firm, or this or that. And it all stems from the fact that I'm out pushing beautifully, right, within action towards my initial purpose. And when you're doing that, I'm telling you, the universe opens up, and people from different arenas will contact you saying that they can use you because they see your vibration, your passion, your ability to move mountains. And when people see that, they're going to want a part of that. They're going to want a part of you, and they will subsequently pay you for that part of you that they so desire. Completely different arenas, but as long as you have your purpose first, PPA, purpose, plan, action. When you have that, you're golden. I'm telling you, as I grow and develop and get out of my way more and more and more, because it's a process, y'all. It doesn't happen overnight. I just had an incident where this girl was trying to give me $250, but she pissed me off so bad on some other business that I didn't even want her money. I told her point blank, I don't want your money. Nah, I don't want your money. Right? And I had to think about it, and I was like, dude, she had some issues going on. She couldn't afford to pay you the rest of your money, but here she wants to give you $250 for something else, and you're not going to take it? What an idiot you are, Pascal. And so I had to call the young lady up and apologize and say, well, I was just in my feelings, and I was in my own way, and I have to apologize to you for that. And so if you want to pay me for for this thing, if you want to pay me that $250, please go ahead and send me the money, and I'll do my part, and I'll take care of you on the other side. As a matter of fact, I'll take care of you from what I promised you plus a little extra because I was acting like a little, a little girl. And those $250 that I could use for something. But I was in my own way, y'all. It was crazy to me when I sat back and I thought about it. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Because you're going to cut her off completely, and she might not have your $3,500 she owes you for your coaching program, right, which is what she got involved in. She gave me $1,500 of it, and then just couldn't give me the rest. But she has money for other services that I offer. But I was like, I'm going to cut you off. Bye. Like some little child, like some little, stupid child, because I was in my own emotions. I was in my feelings, and I was in my own way. I was placing the mountains in front of me. How crazy is that? So, yes, I had to call, apologize, and let her know that I was in my feelings. I was in my emotions. And I was in my own way. And so therefore, please send me your $250, which he did promptly, and let me take care of you as I am supposed to. So that's it, y'all. Denise, you there? I hope. Are you there?
I'm here. My phone went up. Great message. Yes, sometimes we get in our own way. Thank you for all those great nuggets. The PPA, absolutely. And, we do. Sometimes we do get in our own way, and we got to step back. But the most important is that we do recognize and step back. We're human. We make mistakes. But how do we learn, right? If everything's good, then you're not learning. So these things come to us so that we can learn, because you may have done it before in the past and maybe just blew it off, right? And then because you're evolving to the person that you are today and continuously moving forward, you recognize that. And so kudos to you that you were able to do that. So thank you for all those great nuggets. So just a little quick to tell you a little bit about myself. As Pascal mentioned, in the past I've come on the call. My name is Denise Ayuso. Born in New York, and my dad brought us out here when I was about 3-4 years old to California, and been here ever since. My mom never moved back, and my family, our family, aunts, uncles, cousins, never moved to California. So grew up without that family base. Just had my immediate family, and so went through high school, didn't go to college, hated school, but I was introduced. And leaving, one of the things is you've got to be open to things that come your way. You know the parable about the guy who's drowning in the ocean and he wants God to save him. So God sends him a boat and he's like, no, I'm good. And he sends him a helicopter. No, I'm good. And he sends him something else, and I can't remember the third thing, but he dies. He drowns, and he gets to heaven, and he says, God, I believe you were going to come and get me. He was thinking, and you got to look at things that come a different way. They may not necessarily come in a certain way. He wanted the clouds to open up, light come through, a hand come and swoop him out, and that was his vision of how he was going to get saved. But God said, I sent you a boat. I sent you a helicopter. And I sent you, pardon me, because I don't remember the third thing, but I sent you this other thing. What else did you want me to do? I sent you this. You, because being closed-minded, didn't, he was in his own way. And so he didn't get the blessings. So the thing is that in high school, I was a tomboy. So I wasn't going the typical electives of go to the sewing and home. I'm 52 years old. So back then, what I wanted to do was go to mechanic shop. And back then, they didn't allow girls to be in the mechanic shop. And so I was really upset about that because I wasn't going to do this, like I said, the sewing and the cooking classes and stuff that was of no interest to me to this day. I'd rather pay someone else to do it. There are people in my family who are sewers and crafters and drawing and all that stuff. I have more business. That's who I ended up being. And so my counselor said, hey, why don't you take this bookkeeping class? Out of the blue. Okay, sure, why not? What do I? I'm thinking to myself, what do I've got to lose? Let me try it out. I did, fell in love, and because at the age of 15 years old, I made that decision, I'm where I'm at today. Let me say that again. Because I made that decision, because I wasn't closed-minded, because the blessing came to the start of what I didn't know at the time is where I was going to be at today. From that starting point, that opened the doors to the next 35 years. And from that blessing that I received, I ended up taking more accounting classes and fell in love. Because I always loved numbers. I could see numbers and add them up really quick in my head. And so from that, landed a managerial position very early at 20 years old, which is another milestone that opened up. And I took the opportunity and was a manager at a movie theater. And I was able to learn from those things. And from that I worked at a hotel, graveyard shift. And someone was calling from a part-time place. And for Apple One temp place, excuse me. And so I was like, sure, I'll go and interview. So I interviewed from there, got a reception job at an accounting office. From that, I was bored, and I said, look, I need more work. Give me something. And they said, well, some accounting. I said, yeah, I took bookkeeping in high school. From that, they gave me bookkeeping work. Then a bookkeeping position opened up. I went from that and became a sponge. 7 years later, I'm now on my own, 1997, fast forward a little bit more. And one thing just kept leading after another. And so I left I learned how to do tax returns. I learned how to work with businesses. They threw me in when QuickBooks first started. It was a DOS version for those of you who know what DOS is. And then 3 years later, Windows opened up. But learned QuickBooks, and they didn't give me a manual on how to learn QuickBooks. There wasn't a thing back then. I just learned it. And we're going to send you out to our clients, and you're going to teach them how to put their manual accounting onto computers and teach them how to do their financials on computers. And I was like, oh my God, like I've never been out to a client. I don't even know QuickBooks. How am I going to do this? Well, challenge. I learned it, had so much fun. And today I teach businesses on how to keep their books and records straight in their accounting. Because one of the things that most business owners are good at is their craft, whatever that is, whether it be selling some merchandise, providing services. They're great at that craft, but they're horrible at the paperwork part and what gets them in trouble all the time. Well, I love it. I could do it in my sleep. I absolutely love it. And some people are like, oh God, I'm so glad you love it. It's just like my house cleaner. I pay her to clean my house because again, it's just not for me. Whatever is not for you, seek the person who can do it for you. Don't try to figure it out yourself. You're gonna waste so much time. And so I hired someone to clean my house. She comes by every couple of weeks, and I do the other couple of weeks. And so I've got to do some things. So she loves doing it. I'm like, you're kidding. And she's like, yeah, I love doing it. I'm like, God bless you. Because I don't like doing it, so I'd rather pay someone to do it. Most of it. I'll do the other part. But you got to believe. So my message today, and Pascal touched upon it, you got to have your purpose, but you got to believe in that purpose as well. One cannot be without the other, whatever that is. And don't allow people to steal your dreams, because at the end of the day, they're not helping you. Unless you have mentors that help you, that's one thing. But the naysayers that say, that's not for you, you're not going to succeed in that, you're too fat, you're too short, you're not educated enough. Well, I wasn't educated in the true sense of education-wise. I'm not a book person. I didn't like school, and I went to college thereafter. I went to UCLA Extension to brush up on my accounting, but I didn't even finish that when I ventured off on my own. And so from 1997, doors and opportunities opened up. I left the CPA firm, learned everything I could possibly learn at that point in time, and then I went on my own. And when I went on my own, their clients that I was servicing started calling me, and I said, hey, if you want me to work for you, you're going to have to call up the accounting firm that I worked for that are still doing your tax returns, and you're going to have to ask them if I can work for you, because one thing is integrity. I am not going to be accused of stealing clients. Never, to this day. And sure enough, they would call them, and they would allow it, and they'd be my clients. So another thing you have to have, just be real with people. Be honest and straightforward goes a long way. Lying, cheating, and all that stuff just doesn't work. May work temporarily. In the long run, more headaches, more hassle, just not worth it. And so, but you got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in what you want, because it's you. It's unique to you. Who am I to say any difference? Because, like in my family, they're all artists and crafters and sewing, and I have a cousin that sews these amazing costumes for like Comic-Con and stuff like that. I could barely sew a button. That's what I learned to do. I could sew a button, I can hem my pants, and that's it. Because it's not my forte. It's not what I enjoy. Take what you enjoy, make it a business. Start very little. Start with that idea, and you'll find along the way, just like my mentor, built an organization, 25 years. So I do accounting, I have my real estate license, and now I'm in the financial services business. And I ended up meeting this great mentor now, John Shin. I've mentioned his name, and now I'm on tour with him because, as Pascal mentioned, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill has impacted his life to the point where he created a movie, Think and Grow Rich: The Legacy. He's the executive producer. He wrote his book. It was supposed to be an Asian choice, Think and Grow Rich, an Asian choice. They then changed the name, How Rich Asians Think. And now he's made a world tour of it. And I've been blessed to be on that world tour because I get to meet many, many, many people that I wouldn't normally meet. Many motivational people, many speakers, many coaches. And I get to be on tour. And it's practically for free. All I have to do is pay to get there. And then I help at the events. And so I have access to all these people. Because why? That's not accounting. But when a door, an opportunity opens up, I go for it. Because you never know what might happen. You never know who you might meet. You never know who can be an influence or you can be an influence in that setting with that person, or can refer you something or some takeaways. There's just always something. You got to leave that door of opportunity, but you got to believe. You got to be open. Set your mindset to whatever that is for you. Everyone's different. Everyone has been raised in a certain way, and so they have come from a certain background. Statistically, I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. My dad left when he brought us here to California. I was 7 years old. He left, and I didn't see him again until 23 years old for 24 hours. My mother had 4 kids, and so we had to be on the government assistance. And so I'm, by statistics, supposed to be married, barefoot pregnant, bunch of kids, all that nonsense stuff. But I saw that around me, and I chose not to. I chose not to be part of that system. I chose because I believed, one, that wasn't for me, and two, I just wasn't going to be caught up in all of that. I wasn't the babysitter type as well. My sister babysat, and so all these things, the education, no. I loved what I love to do. Doors opened up for me. I was given the opportunity when I was at the CPA firm. They gave the job, bookkeeping, to many different people. And finally they were like, because they were giving it to people who graduated from college. And none of them stayed. None of them. And finally they said, you know what? We're giving bookkeeping to Denise. Why don't we just give her the job? Sure enough. And so grateful and blessed. And I just took it and ran with it. And they're like, okay, well, you're doing bookkeeping, learn how to do tax returns. Okay. Well, you're doing tax returns, learn how to do audit. Okay. Well, you're doing audit, go out to the clients and teach them how to put their accounting on QuickBooks. Okay. I never said no. Every door, every opportunity that's come my way, even though I didn't like it, even though it's out of my comfort zone, I still took that step forward. I didn't say no because you never know. And finally, I'm not one to write down my goals, and I'll go with the planning part. I don't plan things. I kind of just let things happen. They tell you to put down your goals. One of the things, the 6 steps in Think and Grow Rich is define what you want, your purpose, as Pascal mentioned earlier. Well, how much money are you going to make? And it's not like I want to make a lot of money. Because what does that mean? A lot of money to me is $5 million. A lot of money to Pascal is $50 million. So what is that? You got to put the amount of money that you're going to make and believe and see yourself in it. And do this in a quiet time. Just don't, I'm going to go write down my goals today, and there's a lot of noise around you and you're doing other things. Take a moment and really define what that is. So I've learned to do that. My goal, my short-term goal is $5 million by the age of 55, and I'm 52 and a half. So I'm on track to do that. see yourself in it. Write a definite plan. And the other thing that you've got to do is give back. When you receive your blessings, what are you going to do to give back? Whatever that is, you got to give back. There's only so much money, so many things that you could spend, so many things that you can buy. And after a while, all the shiny things are not shiny anymore. You need to do and fulfill other people's lives. You are blessed. You got to give back. So from there, once you've gotten written down, and it's going to be something that you put down for the moment, and it's going to be changing. You're going to add to it. You're going to grow from your plans. They're going to get bigger. You're going to things that maybe you wanted to do before no longer want to do it, or you've already accomplished them. So you're going to be adding and changing along the way. But you got to read it in the morning, and you got to read it at night before you go to sleep, so that it's in your subconscious mind when you go to sleep, and when you wake up, you revitalize yourself with your plan. What that looks like, because we get caught up in the world, we get caught up in life, and we forget about our dreams and our goals. And so last year, my mentor said, "What does the best you look like?" And I was like, "Wow, I've never thought about it," because I thought I was good in my accounting business. I'm going into real estate. I love real estate as well. Doing all these things, I became a notary, have my license for all these things, have my license for the financial services, and I was like, I'm good, but I was needing a purpose at that moment in time. And so when he said, "What does the best you look like?" I was like, wow, what does the best me look like? There's more. How much more? So now this year, even though I heard it last year, kind of put it in the back of my mind, and I was like, okay, what's the next for me? For me now. What do I need to tackle for me? How do I become better and better to help others? I love helping others people. I love helping build people's businesses. And when I met Pascal, it was great because he was in the credit building, repairing, helping people to repair their credit. And I was like, wow, that's great. And his personality, and we just got along great. And that was in 2006. And we've been great friends ever since. And we talk to each other 2 to 3 days a week, and we bounce things off of each other. And we just bounced something off just at the end of last week that we're going to implement. And so find that person who uplifts you. Take all the negative people out of your life. And let me tell you, those are just not friends. They're your family members too. I have, and we just talked about this last Friday, I think it was, Pascal and I. He says it's something when you start taking these people out of your life. And I was like, yeah, that, and he knows I've talked to him about my family members. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and I've had to one by one take them out of my life. They're great people within themselves. They're just not great with me. And so I had to get that toxic, unfortunately, out of my life. And unfortunately, they were my family members. But they weren't giving me that positive energy that I need. I can't even keep them just as side family members. I had to cut them out completely out of my life. And that's unfortunate, and I miss it. But I can't go back to it. Not right now. Not right now. And I leave it to God, and He'll help me with that situation. But sometimes you got to take the family members out of your life and believe that that's going to work for you. And when you do it, you just get that peace, that weight off of you, that monkey off your back. Because some family members, I consider Pascal as my brother. I do anything for him before one of my family members come back to me and ask me for something. He would be first. My mentor said, who are the top 3 people that if you were stuck on the highway coming back from Las Vegas and you had that one phone call to make to that person outside of your husband, immediate family, that one person at midnight, who would you call? Well, that person would be Pascal. And I told him so when I heard that. I was like, oh my God, wow, listen to this. And I wanted to let him know that he would be that person for me because that's who he has been for me. And I let him know that if he was in that situation, know that I would be that person for him as well. So who is that person in your life? That person that you can count on? Do you have one? Got to really look at the people that are in your life. And the other thing is, who are the people that you're hanging around with? And I really didn't believe this at first until I started looking around who I hung out with. If people are coming constantly to you with advice, you need to change that group of people. Not to say that you still can't help them, but if they're looking up to you, who are you looking up to? Are people constantly coming at you and taking from you? Where are you learning? Where are you getting your information from? You got to be surrounded by people either of like mind or people who have done it, been there, who are successful, who you can grab from, and not for free, right? Some people, they're going to give you some, just like on these calls, you get different information, different tidbits, different nuggets that you can use for yourself. But people who are really going to tell it to you straight. So my mentor has these boot camps, and every 90 days you go into this boot camp, and he jumpstarts your business. And it's a financial services business. It has some accounting, insurance stuff, different types of things that we learn. But what he does is he brings motivational speakers in as well. So he mixes it up so, it's not dry and boring, which he never is because he's just fun to be around. But he bought this motivational speaker on Saturday, and we stay in the class for like 10 hours or so. And we're going, oh my God, you sit in a class for 10 hours? Yeah, I would sit in the class for 20 hours. That's how powerful it is. And this guy that came, he's ex-military, ex-police officer, and a whole bunch of things. Young guy, about in his 40s, maybe late 30s, and been through a lot of things. Had the PS, pardon me if I'm not, I know I'm not saying it right, but that post stress that military people get. He went through that, went through several different things. And now he's a motivational speaker. He's great. His name is Dom Fawcett. You can look him up on Instagram. And he said something to me that really hit my spirit. And he said, make a decision in 30 seconds. Well, I wrote down 5 minutes because I think I heard the tail end of it as I was trying to write. Instead of making a decision in 5 minutes, you got to make up your mind. You got to make a decision. One of the things that us women do is that we don't make our decisions quick enough. So he says, make a decision in 30 seconds. Do this in everything that you do. Practice when you're at dinner or at a restaurant or something, and you got to make a decision. Make it in 30 seconds. Don't have the waiter coming back and forth because you haven't made that decision. Make a decision, make it quickly, and get in the habit of doing that. And so I asked him the question about decision making, kind of elaborating on that. And he said something to me that really, wow, hit me. And most people would take offense to what he said to me, but I want to be the best me. So I'm seeking out different questions that I know that I have trouble with. One of the things is being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So say that again, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the hard thing. We get relaxed in our day-to-day life, and we don't want to try new things. That's not everybody. But Um, so one of my goals is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I want to start trying new things. And this morning, I was thinking about what I was going to speak on, and one of the things was being comfortable and uncomfortable. And I thought, okay, maybe do some daredevil things, things that are out of my comfort. And one of those things was to go skydiving. I think it's so, I see it on videos and so inspiring, and jumping out of a plane, how crazy is that? And if anybody has seen Faces of Death, you know, some people's parachutes didn't open. I'm like, there is just no way on this earth I'm going to do this. I would ever go skydiving. Because what about if that happens? Well, then I might be missing out on an experience that I see people happening to them when they go skydiving. I thought, wow, you know what? Maybe that's something I shouldn't say never. Maybe that's something I should think about doing. And so it's strange that that came to mind when I said I want to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and I want to do some things that are out of my comfort zone, something that's fun, not necessarily in business, just something that's fun and just kind of crazy. And skydiving came to mind. I'm like, really? Wow, that's crazy. But so that's on the back of my mind now. Maybe I might make it a goal, thinking about it. So what is that for you? Set your goals, set your purpose, set your belief. What is your belief? Have you stopped believing? So many things can happen, especially when you write it down. I wrote down that at the age of 35, I would buy my first house. Not sure why the age of 35, but that was my number for me. And I wrote it in a notebook, in an organizer type notebook, and packed it away because it was a calendar type. And but I didn't throw it away for whatever reason. And so met my husband. He's like, you know what? We're renting. We need to buy a house. So I was with a client who did real estate development. I knew how to enter all the escrows and things like that, and I knew a little bit about real estate at that point. And I said, okay, let me go look. And we find a house, put an offer, close, and I'm unpacking. And I find this notebook. And it said, buy a house at the age of 35. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. Why was it so amazing? Because we closed escrow 2 days after my 35th birthday. And when I say it right now, oh my God, I get a little teary because I wrote it down and it became, like Pascal talked about, it happened. You have to believe. Things about money, like he talked about, it has happened to me. How am I going to pay for this trip to go to the next Think and Grow Rich? And money will come. But you got to believe, and you got to put it out in existence. Say, this is what I want. This is what I need to happen. And believe that it's going to happen. Pascal talked last week, I think it was, or the week before last, about the mustard seed and moving the mountains, getting out of your own way. Get out of your way. What does it cost you to believe? Some disappointment? Get that out of your head. Let's get the negative stuff out of the head. If you stop, one of my other mentors from Think and Grow Rich, because I entered in Think and Grow Rich Academy, and it dissects the 13 principles of Napoleon Hill of Think and Grow Rich. Because it's not about money. The book is actually not about money. If you put these things into, if you apply them, the 13 principles, one of them being believing, your desires, your faith, you will then have riches. It's automatic. And so I entered into this class. So the academy, he says, we have negative filters that come to us since childhood. Whatever those are for you, me, whatever those things are, they come to us. And little by little, our belief system starts to diminish. For some people, they just completely don't believe. I work with a person 3 days a week that everything's negative. Um, it's like it's gloomy outside, and I'm like, oh, I love this weather because it's cool outside, and the sun's gonna come out here in Southern California in the afternoon, and it's great. We get the coolness in the morning, and we'll have the sunshine. Oh, but it just doesn't feel like summer, and da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Her husband went to have surgery, and oh, but the anesthesia, and this is. I'm like, be positive that everything's gonna come out great for your husband, and sure enough, it did. But that's her mindset. Like she walks in, and she's a great person, and she's lovely when she's lovely, and but she sees these things like the glass half full. Get these negative filters out of your head, and when you start to do that, things start opening up. And other people, you don't have that validation for other people. You don't need it. They're not coming home with you paying your rent. They're not taking care of your children. They're not helping you in your business. They're not doing, these negative people are not doing anything for you but being negative, trying to give you constructive criticism when they've never constructed anything in their life. Get away from these people. You believe. That's all that's important is that you believe. And when you start doing that, things start happening and opening up. Pascal and I talk about it all the time. It's like, oh my God, Pascal, you won't believe what happened. I share a lot of things with him. He shares a lot of things with me. And we both share a lot of things that, hey, what you did wasn't right. We give each other constructive criticism for each other because we're good that way. Because I know that when he gives me his opinion, his constructive criticism, that he's doing it out of what's best for me. Because I may be doing something that's not quite right, and because I'm involved in it, I need to have someone put me in check. And I told them, hey, anytime, just let me know. And I don't take offense to it. And I ask for his opinion all the time, all the time. The guy has a lot of wisdom, as you've heard. And so he's my go-to guy. He's my number one go-to guy because I believe in him, because he's shown me to be a real person. And when I've had some tough times, he was there, whether it be in conversation that I needed, some uplifting, or even monetary. He's been there. Don't worry, D, I got you. And it means so much to me because I believe in him. He believes, and if he didn't believe in me, he wouldn't be offering that to me because he's just not going to waste his time. And that's the other thing. Don't waste your time with things and hobbies. Be focused. Get your plan together. Get your purpose. Write them down. Take action. And it doesn't have to be big, just the little things. My other mentor, which is Dr. Sonia, which we've talked about on this call as well, every Wednesday for 1 hour, we get together on a Zoom call and a webinar phone call. And she starts off with everybody who's on the call got to tell their wins for the week. What's your win? Doesn't matter what it is. Don't compare yourself with the previous caller. What is your win? What happened this past week? And so all these little milestones, when you start to speak it, it also, when you hear it out and you start to speak it, does something for you as well. And that helps to believe, build up your confidence, build up the power within you to do the things that you need to do. And maybe it's not a business. Maybe it's in life, because it's going to help you in every aspect, whether it be your family life, your personal life, your business life, and just interacting with other people. And the other thing is once you start believing these things, you'll start to see people for what they really are and how you've tolerated other people and their personalities and their negativeness and things like that. And as I started to see this, I have another friend who, hey, how you doing? Oh, my God. I woke up this morning and this, and I'm like, okay. And she just likes that all the time. Great person. But if you're starting out your day with, oh, my God, and it's not because it's a beautiful day outside versus, oh, my stomach is killing me. I woke up with a headache. Yesterday, this, that, and the other. There's something wrong in that picture. And if you find yourself doing it changed. Nobody wants to hear that stuff. You tolerate it from other people, and then you're like, wow. Once you really start to dissect your own self and wanting to become better, you start seeing things differently. And people may see that, oh, you've changed. I've had my own son accuse me of, oh, ever since you've gone to the John Shin boot camp and all this stuff, you've changed. He didn't say it in a positive way. So I knew because he said it that way, it's working. Because he got comfortable of me accepting the things that he was doing, and I'm no longer accepting those things. So that's why he's not happy with me, because now I'm letting him know, hey, these things are not good. What you're doing, you need to do these things, and I'm not attacking him in a negative way. I'm just putting in his mindset. Maybe you need to take a second look. I'm not trying to change the person. Only the person can change if they want to change. Only the person can change who they want to be. And that's the other thing. Whoever you're going to be that person. Be the best to that person. If you're going to be the person that's going to help everybody and be Mother Teresa, be that person. If you're going to be a bitchy person, excuse my language, be that person. But don't, the two-faced thing, no foot in, foot out, changing whatever. Be credible. Who's the best you? What does the best you look like? What does that look like? Believe in who you are. Be confident. Make a decision in 30 seconds, not 5 minutes. 30 seconds. Believe in your business. Believe that it's going to go somewhere. Believe in your family. Believe in your partner. All the things that your partner has been telling you, your husband, your domestic partner, whomever that is for you. For many of us, they're not telling us because, again, they're criticizing you. They're on the outside looking in, and they live with you, so they see all your habits, good, bad, and indifferent. And a lot of times we take it as an attack. And I'm saying that because that was me for my husband many times. And I had to step back and look at things different. It's not he's trying to be mean to me. He wants the best for me. And certain things were not good. And he was right. And I tell him that now. And he'll just look at me. I'm like, yeah, I know. I told you so syndrome. Look. But now I can laugh about it. Before, bugged the heck out of me. But now, because I'm of a different mindset, I want to be the better of me. So if he's telling me this, it's not because he's criticizing me. And there are those people who do, but he's not one. It's because he wants me to be the better me as well. The better me makes me be better towards him. So it kind of helps him out as well. But anyways, your belief system. And closing, because we're here on the hour already. It's just that. Believe in whatever. Start believing, because what is it really going to cost you? And failures are not failures. They're learning experiences. They're only failures if you don't learn from them. So I hope I've created some value to this call and have you start thinking, changing mindset and how you look at certain things. And I appreciate being on this call. So thank you, Pascal. It's been an
You're welcome.
honor. Thank you for allowing me. And I'll let you take over and close us out.
Okay. So does anyone want to add anything? I know I ask this every week, and people are like, I'm at work, I'm this, I'm that. But if you're not at work and if you want to add, you know what? Please do. It is our objective here is to help one another, obviously, by everyone. Somebody, Alan says, thank you, Denise. Actually, it popped up. Oh, and he says, he's at work. like so many people on this call are. They're at work, so they can't speak up. It's like the vast majority of the people on this call are at work. So anyways, this is for you, Denise. Alan says, thank you, Denise. Wonderful. for you sharing. And then he gives a bunch of exclamation marks, and it looks like about 5, 6 smiley faces here. So, that was from Alan for you. And anyone else that wants to add anything? It would be.
I would like to add a thank you once again. Another Monday. The conversation was refreshing and a confirmation for a lot of missing pieces to a puzzle.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Anybody else wanna add in? Sounds like somebody's trying to, but they might be having some phone issues here. So listen, y'all. We are on these calls because our objective is, through each of our stories, once again, not just Pascal's story, that we help each other grow. And it's imperative, because as I say all the time, I don't know everything. I'm far from that. I know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Infinitesimal? I don't know. Anyways, a very, very tiny amount of information. And the thing that I know is that each one of us holds, just like jewels, right? Just from life experience and from growing and maturing and your just things that have happened to you and things that you have done in your life. We all you have these powerful jewels of knowledge within you, and I believe it is imperative that you, are supposed to help someone else with those jewels of knowledge. And I think it's imperative of you to do so. I think it is important. I think it is, whatever words you can think of, saying that it is a thing that you should be doing for you to share those things. So when you're on this call, if you can, if at all possible, share. Because we can all learn from you and what's going on and what's happened in your life. This call can never be about just one person, ever, ever, ever. Because no matter how much I think I know, bottom line is, y'all, I'll leave it at that. I don't know every damn thing. I know what I know because of my life experiences, because of the information that I've taken in. But you are you, and you have taken in so much information that has a story to it, and I would love for you all to share your story. It doesn't have to be about business. We're looking for stories of overcoming, stories of triumph in your life, but we also are looking for stories of, your hardship, because we can learn from your hardships. We can learn from the bullshit that you've been through in your existence. I'm able to glean a ton of information and knowledge from people that tell me their hardships. Now, I don't want to hear, a bunch of woe with me bullshit, because I'm not about that. I don't need that energy. Okay. So, if it's just a bunch of woe with me stuff, keep that to yourself. But if it is a true hardship that you have worked yourself through, or you are in the process of working through, I'm with that all day long, right? But if you're just living in that bullshit, if you're just living in your hardship, you're accepting of it, and all you want to do is complain about it, then keep that to yourself. But if you are saying to me or to the people on this call that, hey, you know what, I'm going through it right now, but every day I'm working towards getting up and out of this, that is empowering to me. That is empowering to any and every person that has common sense, right? Because, stress and strife happens in each and every one of our lives. It's just unfortunately seems to be a part of the existence of humankind. Stress and strife, emotional upheaval, love won and lost, businesses started and failed. You get the point. And it's important. It's important for you to tell other people about those experiences. And first of all, I think it's very cathartic. I think it's good for you. But more importantly, I believe that hearing those experiences will help, other people think through the problem, think through the issue, right? Think through their own bullshit, think through what's going on with them. That's how I'm learning to get out of my own way. I mean, I'm telling you, it's those experiences that have taught me and are teaching me, to get out of my own way, to move those self-imposed mountains out of my way. Right, so it's imperative. If you listen to what Denise was saying to you, a lot of her conversation was all about moving those self-imposed mountains and out of her own way. Right, it's learning herself so she could be a better her, which meant that she was able to subsequently move those mental blocks, move those mountains, and to start becoming the best her. And, if no one has anything else to add, we're going to call it a day, y'all. But thank you for coming on the call. As always, you are greatly appreciated. And if you want to share your story, share your time about, what's going on with you, give me a buzz. Everybody has my number. It's not hard to find. 951-515-4728. Let's grow together, y'all. Let's grow together. And there's something I have up for the people that are online. You'll be able to see on your screen, or you should be able to. I have a Facebook group, and it's called Business Funding and Development. And so if you have a business and you want to share some information or whatever, you can go to Business Funding and Development, and you can request to join that Facebook group of mine. And you can, advertise within there if you want. If you're into whatever that relates to business funding and development, if you do accounting or taxes or insurance or anything financial, join business funding and development and be like all the other people that are on here on this group and just market yourself. Add value. I will say that to you. Add value, because I believe that is the best way to get clients. But, you never know. So there it is, Business Funding and Development. And if you request to join Business Funding and Development, which is a Facebook group, I will approve you, and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you guys so very much. Once again, I really, really, really appreciate you all coming and being on this call. Thank you again, Denise. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I had a great time, and hopefully we can do this again. So everybody make it a great day. Have an amazing week. Start from today. Write down your goals. Write down your purpose. And if you don't write it down, start at least thinking about it. So thank you once again, and we'll talk soon.
All right. And Alan said thank you as well with a big question mark. Not a question mark. What is it? Exclamation mark. Good Lord.
Exclamation mark. No, you're very welcome. Very welcome.
Oh, dude. I don't know. My dumb butt sometimes. All this PUI and all those little things I get kind of thrown off.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
No, we should do one day before we leave. One day we should have a day where we come out, and those who can come out, and maybe during a lunchtime or something, we can meet somewhere and have a Monday mastermind together and be on the call and kind of do a Q&A, and then people who can't come can listen in the background and stuff like that. That'd be a lot of fun. So we can meet some of these people who are on our call.
Well, actually, for the local California people, because a lot of people are actually in other parts of the country.
Right.
Like
That's what I
Chicago.
said.
Like
Like
Chicago,
Chicago, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. But one day when you come visit us in California, we'll do a mastermind that day together. How's that?
Let's do
Absolutely.
it. Let's do it.
Or we can, or
That.
better yet, we can come to Chicago. I was just there last month, so that would be fun.
Oh, that'd be
Never
so
know.
cool. Yes, let's do
You
it.
never
It's
know,
going
right?
down.
Right.
It's going down.
That's
It has
right.
to happen.
We'll put it down on our goal setting, right? And
It's going
we'll make it
down on the
happen.
plan. Make it a plan.
That's excellent.
Yep.
That's right. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you, everybody. And have an awesome day, y'all. Cheers. And we'll talk
Monday.
soon. Happy who?
All right.
Happy Monday.
Happy
Happy
Monday to you
Monday.
too.
Happy Monday.
Woohoo.
Monday.
Awesome.
Snap. Happy Monday, y'all. All right, everybody.
Sounds great.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.